Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Lucky Luke Adventure number 1, Billy the Kid, which, by the way, this is not the first freaking adventure by Lucky Luke, but, whatever, we'll talk about that later, Cinebook. Anyway, this is a new format. I'm going to be doing reviews from my drawing desk. I'm kind of downsizing a little bit where I live right now. So things are to be working off of the drawing desk from here on out, so you won't see the same dirty black desk that I've had for a long time. Anyhow, Lucky Luke is a very famous French comic book, well, I should say French-Belgium. Maurice, the cartoonist who draws Lucky Luke, is Belgium, though these particular books are written by Rene Goscinny, well known for writing Asterix and a bunch of other French comic books. He is French, so this is truly Franco-Belgium in nature. But yeah, Lucky Luke is very popular. I think it is number 4 or number 5 of all-time most sold copies of a comic book by a single creator. In this case, the single creator being Maurice, with a little bit of help from Goscinny at certain A's. So my understanding of Lucky Luke, this character, and his trusty steed is this Jolly Jumper. His horse's name is Jolly Jumper. He also talks too, which is really interesting. Is that the original cartoon appeared way back in the days by Maurice, and he mainly wrote it for many years till eventually teaming up with Rene. And at that point, the series really kicked off into high gear and became very popular. So like Tintin and Asterix, this has been translated into many languages and is a very good book. I will say this, I thoroughly enjoyed this Bede. It was excellent. I found myself really, surprisingly liking this book a lot. However, I do not like the way Cinebook handled it. So it is the wide-scale format, but man, dude, I just barely read this book, and I could show you right here. It's basically falling apart on me. So apparently, the same people that do the IDW books must be the same people Cinebook is using, because this is garbage. And this is anyone who says Perfect Bound is superior to saddle stitching in all ways. This is why it is not. So yeah, oh man, freaking A. This is almost twice now I'm going through Perfect Bound books that are just jacked up. It's like, I swear to God, people make these books to not even be read anymore. But anyway, let's get into the good. So the good of this book, it's really fun. So this starts off and you get a really great page right here. Look at how many panels we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is truly the French method right here. A lot of storytelling going on. So here we're explaining the background of who Billy the Kid is, where he grew up. It immediately sets the setting of the Western, and that Billy the Kid is kind of a punkish kid from the very get-go. So his dad catches him basically robbing a stagecoach, and rather than learn from his ways, he decides to run away from home and become a menace. So he ends up taking over a town called Fort Weak, or Fort Weakling, which is sort of a play on the common fort name in America, Fort Strong. And here you get the introduction of Lucky Luke. So this is a cartoonist style, obviously, but at the same time, I can't help but notice that just because it's a cartooning style, you don't see much reduction in the quality of the art right here. Just because Maurice is a cartoonist doesn't mean he skips on backgrounds. There's still quite a bit of backgrounds for essentially a cartooning style. So Lucky Luke kind of gets introduced as a lone cowboy just coming into town. Very classic Western. And I really do enjoy how this book is just unabashedly Western. Does not care. There's obviously a lot of fun and play done here, especially by Rene Goscinny's writing. But this book does not degrade the Western genre or, basically, kind of tear it down or deconstruct Westerns, right? It's a Western and it enjoys what it does and has a lot of fun with it. And frankly, if Westerns would have been done this way in the United States, I think they would still be around nowadays. I think there's the idea that Westerns have to obey to a certain, archetypes and certain tropes. And I think that's unfortunate because the Western really is just a setting and some general themes that kind of go along with Westerns. There's nothing in it that says you can't do, more comical styles, more fun, more romance, more intrigue, mystery, all kinds of things. There's no genre that cannot be fused with Westerns. This was a lot of fun. Obviously cartooning style, but pretty good. So he goes into town and finds that Billy the Kid basically has all the town people under his thumb. And it's actually, I love the cartooning style. Everybody freaks out whenever Billy the Kid is here. I also love how they really make him into a caricature. It's really good. This is just excellent cartooning going on right here. Lucky Luke ends up taking the job as being the deputy sheriff, and he's got the pretty hard job of bringing Billy the Kid in. And initially, he tries to sort of get people to basically agree to testify against him, against all the crimes, but Luke ends up finding that it's really difficult to get people in the town to agree to do that because, frankly, everyone's terrified of Billy the Kid. They're afraid of the retribution. So here he's got one where he steals some caramels from the shopkeeper, and Luke has a miserable time basically running down the shopkeeper and trying to get him to testify against Billy, and Billy ends up just browbeating him into giving up. And at that point, Luke comes up with an interesting idea, and it's like, well, wait a minute, what if I became a bigger bad guy than Billy the Kid? So he goes over with Jolly Galloper, and they basically go around terrorizing the town even worse than Billy does. And what he eventually does is embarrass Billy by essentially becoming such a big threat that all the townsfolk go to Billy for help to stop Luke. And he eventually he can't take it. He's losing his mind. And since Billy is really just a childish little punk, and that's really what Luke is kind of taking advantage of, Billy can't take the spotlight and he can't take the pressure. And eventually, when the two finally duel each other, he basically wails and cries like a baby because he's tired of the townsfolk turning him into a hero when he just wants to be a desperado. Luke, basically arrests him, gives him a spanking, turns him in, you get a nice little resolution here where another bad guy, Jesse James, comes into the town to try and take over Fort Weakling, and the townsfolk tar and feather him. And Lucky Luke rides off into the sunset, a poor lonesome cowboy having help that town out. Very, very heartwarming and classic tale. By the way, I did kind of skip around through this because honestly, this is such an enjoyable comic book that I totally recommend picking this up if you're able to very easily. So in the US, this should be $12 for this. I think it is, how many pages is this guy? Oh yeah, 46 pages. But it's 46 pages of French pages, or I should say European pages. So get ready for like 12 panels. But it's great though. It's really enjoyable. If you liked Asterix, I cannot recommend Lucky Luke enough. Personally, I like this actually more than Asterix. Again, though, I will say I haven't read as much Asterix, and I think I'm definitely going to keep collecting Lucky Luke. This was surprisingly good. I was kind of worried when I picked this up that it would just be a cartoon that just made fun of cowboys and just westerns in general. And while there's a little bit of that in here, but it's more tongue-in-cheek and goes with the story. It's not really denigrating westerns at all. This is honest to God, or at least this story. I don't know if other stories are different. Honest to God, this story just is a good western cartoon comic, and totally enjoy it, man. What a great freaking book right here. Whew, man. Anyhow, I'm sorry for going really fast through this. Normally I take a little bit more time. But in this case, I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit more reasonable, and I've been blabbing on a lot lately. For those of you guys who are fans of the high panel counts, this book has it in spades. And if you love, a good cartoon comic, totally recommend it, man. Totally recommend it. Anyhow, let's get to the art. I'm a little embarrassed about this because I fucked up, and I don't know if you can see in the screen, but let me show you right here. So if you can see right there, there's little ink splashes or smears. because I totally fucked up and forgot to freaking let the ink dry. This is what happens when you don't draw consistently all the time. Lately, like recently, I've been really busy with work and a whole bunch of other stuff, so I haven't had time to draw consistently. So I was kind of rushing through this, and what sucks is I felt really good about the pencils, and then I put down the inks, and as is usual for me, my inks usually are like way worse than my pencils. And then I was like trying to basically erase away the pencils underneath the inks, and I rushed it, and I forgot to freaking let the goddamn ink dry. Ugh. And I mean, colors are pretty standard. I didn't do any major shading. These are just flats. It's cartooning style, so I don't think you really need a lot of shading in this instance. But yeah, Lucky Luke and Jolly Jumper. Yep. Oh, man. So sometimes you got to take an L. In this case, 2 L's. Anyhow, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. You got any comments on Lucky Luke number 1? Not really number 1, but still number 1, Billy the Kid, or my art? Leave it down below, and I will see you next time.